Leaders Podcast, and yet I've never used the Restream app to go live stream, but that's what I'm doing this morning. So we'll see how this works out. I've done it in this set because literally, you might literally hear like cars passing by because I am outside. We reach the north of the DFW Metroplex to DFW Metroplex, but it's like a photo ramp to the fishing pier to the lake. And we are really excited to be here. I've ever used my earpiece. So for those of you who are curious, episode that will be uploaded today for OBBM Network and Traverse TV, probably in the next hour or so for Leading Leaders Podcast. But I want to bring you this one that has been mulling around inside my mind hours. As we relocate, one of the things, every time you change your local relationships, those relationships with the people you go to church with, the people you go to school with or near all your life, your best bud. Let me say this before, it's a basic leadership and initiative kind of a concept, and that is you hang around with. Well, when you relocate, 5 people you hang around with, especially when you move away, which is exactly what we did. We moved miles from one location to the other. It's a pretty direct in neighborhood, in the personas, good stuff. And so who you hang out with, who that you are, if you're not careful, rather you become the influenced. And so what I read as a leader, you've got to be the way that you lead, the way that you are influenced. Will you use circles to be an influencer, or will you put yourself influenced? Where other people have more say, have stronger voices than you have. It is a choice that you have to make, and you've got to make that choice and make it wisely with all you possibly can. Now, here's something else that you want to, this clip from Tony Robbins over, because you become a truism, but not quite the way he said, we often learn how to handle our money, how to handle finances from the people in our. Now, if you grew up like I did in a relationship, I remember living for years on food stamps, the son of a single mom, or working at my own job before they could even put me on the payroll. I was mowing lawns and doing everything I could to help support the family. Been the way that we've been, and just hustlers and grinders. The sad part is that mindset is always high. It's never been the reality that we cash to create a new opportunity. The people that you hang out with, he also pointed out there are a lot of people who have found their wealth. They've sustained that wealth for, and it's hard to look at them and be jealous. Well, they just got lucky. Well, they didn't. Either they're really good at what a professional like a doctor, a lawyer, or somebody, or they're very good at what they do when it comes to money. Either way, the wealth they possess, they've earned it, accumulated. And so not only is it of you to be jealous of the success, it's also counterproductive. The reality is you'll become like the 5 people you hang out with. Look at those who've successfully achieved, and you might ridicule them. You think they should you rather than you learning from them. You're going to find yourself right back in the same repeated cycle. Why can't I get ahead? Well, it's the same mindset that those people who have all that money, those people who have all that money, they stole it from somebody, or those came by it illegally or dishonestly. My friends are going to remain broke while the other people continue to, they're taking it from you, but being to get it in the places where it is. Grant Cardone, I don't have to know how. I don't even have to know what. And the question is, who has my money? Will pay for the product that I offer? Who has the money I offer? Who has the money to support my next? Who has the money to be a part of my next adventure? And the who that has my money. Now that, so the question that you've got to ask yourself is, anything from those people who have found 20 years, or am I learning from the people circle? Now, here's a real challenge for say, well, I want to learn from the people who have all the money, so I'm just going to. And while there's a great hope that you want to hang out with people who kind of pull you, there's also the reality that the people you've lived with, well, they probably haven't quite gotten there. They're like the crabs in a barrel. They want to pull you back down and make the decision. Who is it that you're going to learn from, going to live with, or love? The people, your friends, the ones you grew up with in high school, they may or may not going to take you to the next level. And it may be some like I do. I love, say, Grant Cardone or Gary Vee. Lifestyle necessarily that I want to live. I'm willing to pay for their good business advice, advanced investing advice, and marketing to accomplish things that I haven't. I'm willing to pay to achieve the next level of my life. When it comes to the life that I live, the relationship with my kids, with my neighbors, it may not be a relationship that they have. I'm not sure that the same way they love me now, if I had the same gravitas that, say, I don't know, Gary Vee has, or Cardone has, or Tony Robbins has. A lot of success brings a lot of bravery. Family and my friends would tolerate much of me if that. But the family that I have, that I love and hang out with on a daily basis, will influence who I am. But they don't have. And that's really what I want to challenge you to realize. Those that you love, that you live with, and those have to be the same people. That's a choice that you have to be very intentional about. Comedians joke about it all the time. Who wants a single 20-year-old who's never had a kid? Who did? And yet, sometimes those who kind of have the world all figured out have why you should raise your kids, but they've never had one. To know what it's like to have to share a time and a space with, but they seem to have all the advice in the world. Well, that's marriage advice from a single, or parenting advice from they don't have a clue. In the same way, if the people are struggling in their leadership skills, they're struggling in their relationship skills, they're struggling in their money management skills. Find to love them. In fact, I strongly encourage you to, but to lead them. That you take advice from them, manage money if you know they can't. Don't ask them how not. Don't ask them to give you advice on charity if they don't have any. Don't have to build and sustain wealth, because the advice that you get isn't good for them, and that's just going to harm your relationship. People out there who have done what you want to do, that you desire to live, they're reaching the goals. Well, then imitate what they're doing, if you must. At a minimum, grab the books. Go to the half-price bookstore and go to the Goodwill Go to Amazon if you got the budget and buy the book to it. Start figuring out what it means. What does it mean? Would you want to do that? What would it mean for your life if you one thing? If you just 10x look like? Would it be your health? Would it be your relationships and learning? Would it be the amount of time that you spend investing your money? Well, all of those are questions that you've got to ask and answer. If you don't even know what 10x means, $20 and get the book. Spend what you would spend a week. Go spend that on a book. Go to YouTube and find a masterclass for free. And continue living where you're living. You can improve the quality, improve the circle of friends that you hang out with. You can learn them like, and you don't have to learn from the people that you love. They may not have the advice that you're looking for. They may not, frankly, they may not, and that's okay, as long as you know that. Time today and ask yourself, are the people that I love, that I live around, that I live with, are they at life? Are they going to take me to the next level? Or, and if they're not, that doesn't, it just means you don't let them find the mentors who have reached the goals that you're. Get in their shadow, walk there. You can do it face to face. If you can do it live, if you can do it in a relationship, if you can only do it through books and videos online, then you've got to do it. I told you, we're outside on the patio. Alarm goes off because somebody's car goes by, like it or not. And now that car alarm is going to influence my day. And we're going to figure out how to isolate this. Oh, by the way, studio, we used it to move a bunch of stuff. So the mobile studio very soon. I'll actually be recording and streaming very soon. In addition to that, we're in part of the local group here in the Granbury area that have unused space in their workspace and partnership, setting up a studio there. So not only can we stream work for other clients. So if you're in the Granbury area, we might be a source for this as details come about on that. But I challenge you, believe that you can only learn from those you live with, and you can learn from people you don't even like for that. But if what they're doing has, why would you pass that up? I'm J Loren Norris for Tell It Like It Is TV. Pretty good.